What's the scene, people? This is Matthew, and this is another episode of What's the Scene. And today I'll be talking about the fifth film in the ever popular Transformers movie franchise. Of course, I'm talking about Transformers The Last Night. Now, just a little brief history with me and the Transformers movie franchise. Now, when the first movie came out 10 years ago, back in 2007, I thought that this was a movie that director Michael Bay was literally born to direct. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I wouldn't say it's a great movie by a long shot, but it was certainly an entertaining film. There was lots of great visual effects, and it was just so much fun and action packed, and it was just the ultimate summer blockbuster for me. And then Revenge of the Fallen came out, and yes, like everybody says, that was when the franchise just fell apart for me, and this to me remains one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And then with the other two movies, Dark of the Moon, and yes, Age of Extinction, the quality of these movies just went downward, just further downward into hell. And, like I have the utmost respect for a guy like Michael Bay. I think he's great in terms of action directing, but clearly this guy just doesn't care. The studio doesn't care. They just make these movies because they know that idiots like me are going to spend their money and just watch 2.5 hours of just visual torture, and we're just gonna walk out of it numb and feeling like we've been violated, we've been raped. But I was willing to give this man a bly with this new one here because, yes, this kind of more or less commemorates the 10th anniversary of this series. 5 films in. So, what is The Last Night about? And I've seen this movie literally last night, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what this movie is about. Because there's so much things going on in this movie. So for one thing, if you guys remember from the last film where Optimus suddenly had the ability to fly, because in the other films he never did, but in this one he suddenly did, he flew to Cybertron. He needed to see his creators because he wants to know exactly what they want with him, why they keep sending these Decepticons to try and kill him. So he finds his way in Cybertron, and one of the Transformers is there, and she hypnotizes him, and the plan basically is for him to wipe out Earth. I'm not going to say why. And while that's going on, now we have this new task force assigned to wipe out all Transformers because movie. And while all this is going on, we meet this Latina girl who suddenly knows every single thing about Transformers. She knows how to repair them, she knows their weak spots and all that kind of stuff. And then that brings up one serious issue of the movie. When exactly did this movie take place? Was it like a couple of years, a couple of months after Age of Extinction? I don't know, because it doesn't say. And then from there, of course, Mark Wahlberg returns. He suddenly knows everything about Transformers as well too. He knows their weak spots, he knows how to repair them, he knows all that stuff. Which is funny because in the last film, he knew barely little to nothing about how these Transformers operate. And in case you were wondering what happened to Mark Wahlberg's daughter, that one who just couldn't act to save she own ass. Yeah, she's not in this movie. Apparently she's in college right now, so she's just away from all this insanity that's going on in this movie. And then to make matters even worse now, Megatron, yes, I said Megatron, because remember in the last film he was called Galvatron, now all of a sudden he's Megatron now, for God knows why. So yes, he has a plan out and he wants to destroy the Autobots once and for all. And then to top all of that off, now we have this thing about the Knights of the Round Table, and there was Transformers back then in the past, and then Merlin's staff apparently have some kind of powers to do some kind of thing, and now this Transformer wants this staff, and then if, whoever acquires the staff could control the world or destroy it or whatever crap. I really don't care. There is so much stuff going on, and it's just so hard to really figure out or understand what's going on. And every once in a while, the film will stop and give you these exposition-heavy scenes. Like case in point, this whole thing with the Knights of the Round Table. Anthony Hopkins, yes, Sir Anthony Hopkins, the only knight in this movie, the real knight in this movie, gives us all these exposition scenes about back in medieval times, there was Merlin. Oh, and by the way, Merlin is played by Stanley Tucci. Let me repeat that again. Merlin is played by Stanley motherfucking Tucci. Last time he was playing some scientist dude in Age of Extinction, his character is no longer here in this film here, but instead they give him a cameo as a drunk Merlin. Now, I know you don't go into a Transformers movie expecting great story, great content and stuff like that. You want to see action. And here, the action is exactly what you would expect. It's very flashy, very over the top. very Michael Bay-ish. You've seen these things hundreds of times before, but here they feel dull, they feel uninspired, they feel drab, they feel boring. I've seen these things 4 times before in 4 movies. I don't need to see the same thing again in this 5th film. I'm sorry. And as for the editing, oh my god, the editing in this movie. It feels like the editor or editors are probably high off a Red Bull or some. Could they just edit this thing so frenetically, so haphazard, so sloppy, that even somebody like me could look at this thing and be like, geez, boy, this is some amateurish editing here. All these shots just move so fast. You don't even get enough time to really sit down and savor these great shots. Because yes, the film is shot very well. Just like with all the other films, they're shot very well. Cinematography-wise, they look really good. But you don't get the time to really savor these scenes because they cut so damn quickly. And the story, oh my god, story in this. Literally, it feels like a bunch of like high school students basically had to cram for an exam and they only had 2 days to cram for it. So they just had a bunch of history books and a bunch of energy drinks just to keep their eyes open. I just managed to cram everything while they're just drinking all this energy drink. And then by the time they go into the exam, they just blurt out everything literally. And that's what this movie feels like. There are moments where the movie pauses and give you all these historical lessons about, you know, the Transformers were there back in the medieval times, and they were there during slavery, and they were there even in World War II. They helped bring down the Nazi regime. Yes, imagine that. And you would think, wow, it's like the most amazing thing ever, but they don't even spend any time on it. So you just get all this history stuff in your head, and it's just trying to stay, but then you have to remember, oh, remember that character from like half hour ago? Yes, we have to go back to that character, and then you just forget everything that you saw before. Now, as for villains, well, you know, as far as villains go, yes, it's the typical Transformers stuff. So you have Megatron. There's even a scene where he rounds up some of his goons to help him out, Suicide Squad style. I swear to God, that's what he does. Then you have this chick from Cybertron who hypnotizes Optimus. And then, of course, you have Optimus going rogue and, you know, turning against his teammates and all that. Oh, and by the way, in terms of that, Optimus Prime is barely in this movie. He's like in the first 10 minutes or so, and then in the last 10 minutes or so. The man is barely in the film. And then when he's there, like in the second half, yes, that fight which you saw in the trailer where he has to go toe-to-toe against Bumblebee, it's there. But just like Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, that fight just comes and goes. The fight between Optimus and Bumblebee literally is shorter than the fight between Batman and Superman. It does not last long at all. It lasts probably under 5 minutes. Now, I wasn't going into this thing expecting a masterpiece, but I was expecting something at least marginally decent, at least something better than Age of Extinction, something where at least the filmmakers, Michael Bay even, learned from their mistakes and actually made a competent enough film. No, it's not that. At this point in time, at this 5th film right here, it's clear that these people just don't give a shit. But geez, man, this is the 5th film, and this is what we getting? 10 years. 10 years I was siding with this guy. 10 years I was like, yes, Michael Bay is the one to make this movie. 10 years I was letting this slide. 10 years. And it's only in the 5th one where I was like broken, like emotionally broken, mentally broken. I just felt so violated. I was just like, I can't with this franchise anymore. I'm sorry, I just can't. Now I hear and talk that we might get some spin-offs and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. I am done with this series. Unless somebody tells me that this new one is going to be great, and like somebody saw it beforehand and say, yes, this movie is great, 2 thumbs up or whatever. That's the only way I'm going to spend my money on another Transformers movie. So in closing, yeah, this is literally the worst film I have seen all year. And I sat through 50 Shades Darker. A way to wrap your head around that. This is worse than 50 Shades Darker. This to me is the worst Transformers movie out there. And I know it have fans out there that just love these movies, that just love these flashy transformation-y stuff. And that's fine enough. Like I say, I will actually defend the first one. The first one is great summer blockbuster fun. And then the other movies just sucked ass. But hey, you know, it have the fans out there. And you know, if you want to go and see this new one here, by all means, go see it. But as for me, who have been defending these shows for a good while, letting these slide for 10 years, I have had enough. So I'll just say this in closing. This movie, this franchise, with the exception of the first one, because I defend the first one. And if you even come up to me in person or make a comment below and tell me about how this movie here is the best Transformers movie ever made, the best one you ever seen in your life, fuck you. 1 out of 5 stars. Worst movie I see for the year. I don't think anything gonna top this off, but this to me is the worst piece of I have seen all year. Michael Bay, Paramount, all they dropped the ball with this one here. I was defending y'all. Not again. I done with this franchise. I'm done. I'm done.